So I've been doing some soul searching over the last couple weeks. I've been super emotional. I've been super kind of like, I'm always reflecting. I tell y'all that all the time. Like, I'm always looking back on things and trying to figure out if I handled stuff as best I could. And I was recently in a situation where I realized that like I be getting triggered. I be getting triggered by this one particular person that I've been having sex with very consistently, and he triggers me. And in the past, I don't think I've ever really been able to identify my triggers, but now I can identify my triggers. And there was a situation where I was upset about something. A situation was happening, and actually, you know what? I guess I'll tell y'all because I'll tell y'all what happened. So I'm I'm at the sex club or whatever, and I'm with the person that I bring to the sex club, and I'm doing my demonstrations. Like y'all know, I go to the sex club to literally be a sex coach, and I do my demonstrations. And so I'm doing my demonstrations and everything is cool. And then, like, all right, cool. I'm ready to like, play and kick it and do whatever. So we goes into the area where people be making sex. And I it's me and him, and then there's a woman there. We have an association. Is a female associate of mine or whatever who just so happens to want to eat my ass. So I'm like, okay, cool. You can eat my ass. That's cool. And I agreed to that. I consented to that. I said, can my partner watch? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we move forward. We move forward with the what I consented to, which was the consent of me getting my ass ate. So we're there, and she's eating my ass, and that's cool. Like, I told y'all how I feel about getting my ass ate anyways. Like, it's alright, but I only like getting my ass ate if I'm like getting my clit stimulated as well. So like, I grabbed my toy, I'm like using my toy, she eating my ass. I'm like, all right, cool, that feel kind of good. So I'm that. But I will say this, like, this isn't a woman that I find I have no sexual attraction to her. Like, that does not mean that she's not an attractive woman. I just have no sexual attraction to her whatsoever. And so, outside of the eating my ass part, it was like, all right, cool. That's all I need. That's all I'm here for, whatever. Now, the situation began to look like it was about to turn into a threesome. And when I started to see, like, extra clothes is coming off, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not with this. I'm not with this at all. And I had to kind of sit back and think about, like, okay, how am I now? In the moment, all I did was I got up and I'm like, well, my panties at? I'm finna, like, I'm starting to get dressed. So now they're like, all right, what's going on here? Now, mind you, I was very clear about what it was that what I agreed to. You didn't ask, can you have a threesome with us? That's not what I wanted or whatever. Now, y'all know I've been the third in most of my threesome situations. I've been the third. And then in my last threesome situation, I was not the third. We brought somebody in. Now, I'm not against having a threesome with this person. Like, I want to have another threesome with him, actually. So it wasn't that. It was just the fact that that's not what I signed up for. And I want to talk about that. How, like, as someone who is, one, not a bisexual woman, two, someone who advocates very specifically for what it is that I want in a moment. So regardless of who you are, if you say like, oh, I want to do this with you and I agree to that, that is the only thing that is going to take place. I told y'all before, there was a situation where I was talking to this Belizean dude or whatever, and he was like, okay, can I eat your pussy? And I was like, well, yeah, but I'm not fucking you. And he thought that after he ate my pussy, I was gonna fuck him. And I was like, no. I put my panties on, and I'm like, I don't know why you even you have no reason to pull your drawers down. Please put those back on. Like, you don't have to get naked to eat my pussy. Like, you don't have to do that. Don't do that. Please don't. Like, we're not doing that. So I am someone that says exactly what I mean, and I mean exactly what I say. If I say we're gonna do this, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're not gonna do anything else. There was another situation where I talked about this before as well. I was giving this man some head, and he was like, okay, I want to have sex with you. And I was like, no, I told you I was only give you head. Like, and I was not on my period. It was no, like, I don't want y'all to think like, oh, you only gave him head because no. I told him I wouldn't give him no pussy. And I would give, I literally gave that man head and said, no. He was like, oh, I want to, see what the pussy like. No, you don't, because you're not. And you never will. And that's exactly what happened. So I feel like that's my fixed sign energy. Like, I'm a Scorpio, so y'all. If you are listening to this episode, make sure you get your tickets to the very first Her Nut Matters live show. It is on November 27th. That is the day before Thanksgiving, right here in Chicago at Chicago Theater Works. Make sure y'all getting y'all tickets. I dropped them for the low, so y'all really ain't got no motherfucking excuses. So, yeah, make sure y'all get them tickets. It's going to be a vibe. I'm going to have dick waffles and coochie waffles and burlesque dancers and big booty bitches and massage tables and a bunch of kinky shit. So, make sure y'all get them tickets. I know, like, Scorpios are one of the fixed signs, and that means that whatever the fuck I say, that's what the fuck I mean. So if I agreed to get my ass ate. That's all I wanted. I didn't agree to a threesome. You didn't ask me for a threesome. I didn't consent to a threesome. So guess what? A threesome not happening. I'm out of here. So gets up. I'm putting my panties on. And she's like, oh, was there a miscommunication? I'm like, no, there wasn't a miscommunication because and I guess that's an interesting question, like whether or not there was a miscommunication. Because to me, my response was no, there wasn't a miscommunication. There wasn't a miscommunication because we did not communicate about a threesome. So there couldn't have been any miscommunication around a threesome that we didn't communicate about. The miscommunication, however, was the fact that I said exactly what was going to happen. And now I don't know why you taking your, I told you, yeah, you can eat my ass. I don't know why you taking your panties off or why you taking your bottoms off. Like, your coochie shouldn't be out. Because it's not a threesome. We not finna bump coochies. We not finna do nothing. I'm not, I didn't even kiss her. Like, that's not even something that I wanted to do. I didn't want to kiss on her either. Like, that's literally, you said, can you eat my ass? And I said, yes. Can he watch? You consented to him watching. That, for me, when I consent to something, I be consenting to very specific things. That's what I consented to. So, like I said, the moment that it began to look like that's not what was happening, I'm like, okay, I got my ass ate. I can get up out of here now. Like, I'm not having a threesome. So, and all I did was like I said, I was like, where's my panties? Like, and I started to get up, and she's like, what's going on? Come here. No, we don't know. So we're leaving and stuff like that. Now the guy or whatever, my partner or whatever, he's like, oh, what's wrong? Cause he knows me. He know me so well. I hate it actually. But he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. So now we kind of into it, but we not really into it. But he like, what's wrong or whatever. But I'm like, but also I'm the person that, when I don't argue, I'm not going to argue with you. Not going to argue with you. Not going to go back and forth with you. And I'm not going to communicate my emotions while I'm in an emotional state. Well, that's not true because sometimes I be emotional and I do communicate that. What I mean is that I needed time to process what just occurred. And so I did not want to communicate in that headspace because I needed time to process and I needed time to rationalize and just, reflect on why I needed to respond the way I responded. So I needed time for that. I just needed time to process. And so that happened or whatever. Now, it was some other shit that happened that night, which was like super crazy. Like, it was a wild ass night. Like, it was a wildly emotional ass night because the fucking lunar eclipse was in Pisces and it was just a bunch of weird shit happening that weekend. Like, the whole weekend. I was talking to other friends. There was a bunch of weird shit happening too. But either way, now, that wasn't I'm not saying, I didn't tell y'all that story to say that, oh, that relates to the way in which this guy has triggered me. That's not even the situation that triggered me. It was some other shit that triggered me. But that situation was the start of me saying, like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I feel some type of way. I don't know what the way is that I feel. Let me figure that shit out. But also, I'm not gonna, again, be like, oh, I'm not gonna like start crying or start yelling or start doing all this like erratic shit just because I feel some type of way in the moment. So I feel like that's growth. And then, like I said, this person or whatever, like, it was a situation where we continues, like, weeks are going by, whatever, and then I later tell him, like, okay, you do these things that trigger me, and it has nothing to do with you necessarily. Like, I'm still upset that you're doing, like, and it's not even, I don't want y'all to think that he's doing a bunch of shit that's triggering me. That's not the case. That's not the fucking case. What is the case is that there's, like, a thing or two. So just like very light shit or whatever. Shit that he's doing that is triggering me and making me feel away. And I wasn't saying anything about it. Now, the issue with me not saying anything about it is that I begin to shut down when I don't talk about shit. But all I gotta do is talk about it. Like, it's not like I cannot talk to this person. So we're driving or whatever, and I was like, yeah, by the way, my ex that damn near ruined my life and I was with before I started PrHOEvocative and was ruining my, like, every time we went on vacation, we was arguing and just doing like all this other shit or whatever. Now, mind you, like I told y'all, I don't argue. Is because all of the arguing that I've done enough arguing with my ex to last me a lifetime. I just don't want to argue with people. Like, that's not the way in which I want to problem solve. So, like, when it feels a little confrontational, that is a little triggering for me because I'm not finna go back and forth with you. Like, with my ex, when we used to argue or whatever, he would like bust my windows and put holes in my walls, and like he choked me one time. Like, it was very wild shit that he was doing or whatever. Like, he's never like fist to face type shit, but the emotional abuse that I dealt with, the him trying to make me feel like the lowest person in the world, all of that shit, like, again, that's not anything that this current partner is doing or trying to make me feel. However, that shit that I've experienced in life and why I refuse to argue with people, why I don't go back and forth, that is something that I did carry. Like, that was a trauma response. Like, if anything feels like it's about to be an argument or feels like going back and forth, I'm like, all right, cool, I guess we not finna talk no more. Like, that is my response. Oh, so myself and Terry are on tour with the Heart of South show. And if you click the link in my bio on Instagram, that's at JODYPRHOE, there's a link in my bio, or it's a link in the description of this video that you're watching. And you can find the link to all of the shows that we will be attending. So we are going to be in Philly on November 21st. We are going to be in New York on November 24th. We are going to be in DC on December 15th, we're going to be in Atlanta on March 2nd, and we're going to be in Nashville on March 9th. There are going to be more dates and more cities dropping very soon. So if you listen to this and you didn't hear your city, guess what? Your city probably got added right after I dropped this video. So make sure you are clicking those links, checking in with the Heart of South show, checking in on my personal page, checking in on Terry's page at Terry Roseland on Instagram, and make sure y'all get them tickets in the cities, because we coming to y'all, right? We bringing all of the raw, the freaky, the unfiltered conversations. We're bringing all of that to you. We gonna have some fun ass games, and we are raffling off some really big prizes, like milking tables and shit. Like, we're really finna go crazy with the Heart of South live show. So make sure y'all get y'all tickets, right? But that's a trauma response. It's not the healthiest way. It like there's no problem. There's no problem solving. There's no resolution, because there's no opportunity to have a conversation, because I just shut down. So for me, it's like being mindful of that and trying to figure out, like, okay, cool, what is the healthy way to go about conversations when I do feel uncomfortable about something that, you know, anybody does. Because it's not like, that's just like across the board. I don't have to necessarily say something in a moment, but when I am ready to talk, how does that look? What is that like? Being super conscious and mindful of my feelings and how I feel in the moment. Like, is my heart beating fast? Like, is my mind racing? Are my palms sweaty? Do I have goosebumps? Am I cold? Am I hot? Like, sometimes when when I'm getting like super upset, like I literally feel like my blood is boiling. Like, I feel hot. Like I gotta come up out some clothes because I'm so hot. So being present with my body and with myself, and then understanding that those are just, you know, those, when I'm triggered, my body is just communicating with me. My body is literally communicating with me to tell me that something is not right, and listening to myself, and then being able to communicate that to the people around me in a way that they understand that what I need in that moment. So again, I can send it to one thing with that situation. Me telling him when we was driving in the car, like, oh yeah, this triggers me because X, Y, and Z. Those were two totally separate situations, but he was present for both. So that's why I'm telling y'all that, because he saw me in that mode where I was like, all right, cool, I'm finna get out of here. And then we was driving completely random, and because literally the thought had came to me, and I realized, like, oh, when you try to argue with me, I shut down. That is a trauma response. I don't argue with people. Like, I refuse to. And then if it does get to a point where I'm yelling and I'm doing all of that, you damn near lost me. Because like I said, I don't go back and forth. So even with that, like, just understanding how to kind of go about that. That's really what it comes down to, like, understanding myself, and understanding that I'm someone who's going to continue to evolve, and regardless of the types of relationships that I have, sexual and non-sexual, it's important that I am practicing what I preach. Like, I tell y'all to advocate for yourselves. I cannot be someone that's telling y'all, like, oh yeah, advocate for yourself, and I'm not advocating for my fucking self. Like, that makes no fucking sense. And I'm not a hypocritical ass bitch. Like, no. I am taking y'all on this journey, on this evolution with me in real time. Like, I am a human being. I'm a certified sexologist. That does not mean that I have all of the answers to all things. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a psychologist. I'm not any of those things. I am someone who studies psychology and all of that, but that does not mean that I am a, you know, like a mental health therapist or anything like that. Like, y'all are literally getting the raw and authentic me in all of its contradictions, its idiosyncrasies, the nuances. You're getting everything that is me. And because you guys are getting everything that is me, I want you guys to also know that it's time for PrHOEvocative to change. PrHOEvocative started out as me exploring myself and being super green, being super vanilla, and then figuring out who that inner hoe was, like embracing that inner hoe, right? I don't have to try to embrace that anymore. I have nothing to prove, if that makes sense. I don't have to dig deep within myself to unlearn limiting beliefs or to no longer feel ashamed of who I am sexually. I don't relate to that storyline anymore. And so some changes are coming. PrHOEvocative is not ending. I don't want y'all to think that like, all right, Jody about to end PrHOEvocative. Like, PrHOEvocative is coming to an end. It's here. It's not that. It's not that, guys. We all at some point or another notice an evolution within themselves. And me, I feel like I'm growing in so many different ways. And that's what I want to embrace. I want to embrace the growth. Am I still going to talk about sex? Fuck yeah. Am I still going to be PrHOEvocative? I wouldn't want to be any other way. But the name of the show will change, and it's going to be more reflective of where I am in this journey, where I am. Am I still exploring myself sexually and learning from that? Yes. Am I still exploring myself through sex? Of course. Am I still decolonizing and deconstructing these, limiting sexual beliefs and shame and the stigma around what's freaky and nasty and kinky? Yes, I'm still doing all those things. So, because I'm still doing a lot of what I'm passionate about and what made me want to share myself with you guys, I need a name that's going to reflect that. So, this is the last episode of PrHOEvocative. This is the last episode. I didn't come here thinking that I was going to say this is the last episode of PrHOEvocative. I didn't even know where I was going to go with this episode. I came in the studio and I hit record. And that's what I do a lot of times when I come in the studio. I lay it out there. Like, PrHOEvocative has been my diary, has been my journal. Like, I share my real thoughts with y'all. I really do. I try to shield identities and protect people that are a part of my story, because I still want to tell my story, but I don't have to tell other people's story in that context. Even when it came to the situation where I just told y'all about, the situation where I'm like, all right, cool, she wanted to eat my ass, I didn't consent to a threesome, and then whatever happened. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I said in the beginning, I do not find her sexually attractive. I want to have threesomes with women that I be wanting to tongue kiss and be super nasty with, and that's just, those are not my feelings towards this person. I don't feel that way at all. So again, I have to be honest with y'all. This is some shit that I would write in my diary. I haven't journaled or wrote in my diary for so long because I literally just get in the studio and I tell y'all. I really talk to y'all. I really share things with y'all. Whether it be, a month later, a year later, whenever the fuck I choose to share. I make sure I share because it should be on my terms, and I share shit with y'all on my terms for sure. So, I guess, like I said, I didn't know I was gonna say that this was the last episode of PrHOEvocative, but it's not the last episode of me. Like, you guys, you just gonna see a new name. That's it. So it's not the end. It's the growth. This isn't goodbye. This is, damn, Jody, you changed your number. That's what it is. I have a new phone number. But yeah, y'all can still expect you can still expect my intrusive thoughts, my, like, everything about me, everything that y'all love about my show and me being me. You can still expect that. There will again be some changes in terms of like a little bit of like formatting changes. Y'all will still be able to listen to Skinemax. Me and Terry gonna still be doing Freaky Friday. We actually need to record a decent amount of Freaky Friday episodes, so I apologize for that. It's not me, it's Terry's fault. Terry's just a very busy person. He's just very busy, and so we just have to figure out like what our schedule is gonna look like in terms of recording. So that's that. But yeah, if y'all got some fucking ideas, send them to me, because I created this for, it started out about me, and it quickly grew to being about all of us, because all of us experience shame. All of us experience some type of sexual trauma or embarrassment or things that shaped our lives in a way that we were not living pleasurably. And that is still the mission. That's still the mission. That's still the goal, to tear down limiting beliefs while uplifting, liberating beliefs. So, yeah. Y'all know I'm on tour with the Heart of South show. So that announcement has been made on Instagram and Facebook, if we connected on Facebook. But I be telling y'all, don't follow me on Facebook. Like, don't connect with me. Instagram is where you can find me. But yeah, going on tour with the Heart of South show. November 21st, which is my birthday, is the first show. It's in Philly. If you're listening and you're in Philly, please grab tickets, pull up. There are VIP tickets, and then there's general admission tickets. The VIP tickets include meet and greets with everybody in the show. So y'all pull up. Let's take some pictures like we had a Chris Brown concert. Like, I'll be like rubbing on y'all, and it could look like we a couples in, like we a couple in the 90s or something. Like, we madly in love. Like, let's take some photos like that. Those are the type of, I'm on my Chris Brown meet and greet type shit. So yeah, pull up if you in Philly, November 21st. If you are in New York and you listening, pull up on us. The show is on November 24th. So November 21st, Philly City Winery. November 24th, New York City Winery. And then DC, we come to y'all in December 15th, DC, Union Stage. So the link to the tickets are in my bio on Instagram. So that I be telling y'all all the time, like, please follow me on Instagram. If you listen to the show, follow me on Instagram, because Instagram damn near be the first one to know about announcements in real time. I'm always posting about stuff on Instagram. So definitely go on Instagram. If you are in any of those 3 cities, please grab your tickets, and we will be going to other cities. The dates will be dropping soon. The cities will be dropping soon. Houston, we trying to come to y'all. Atlanta, we trying to come to y'all. Hell, start hitting up some venues. Hit up some motherfucking venues and tell them they need to have a Heart of South live show tour at their location. Like, help me, nigga. Help me, y'all. But yeah, me and Terry, we gonna be opening up for the Heart of South show with Freaky Friday. So I'm super excited about that. And yeah, we opening up in every city for them. If you are in these cities, would definitely love to link with y'all. I'll also be doing some private sessions in these cities as well. So if you're interested in privates and I'm coming to your city, hit me up on Instagram, and we can go ahead and work that out, whether it be a sensual massage, a kink session, a sex coaching session. Let's make it happen. Let's work. And that's all I got for y'all. I know y'all rocking with me anyway, so we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out together. So on that note, I'm out.